In the beginning of the movie we see a girl named Key who's driving her car somewhere and she's talking to herself, feeling extremely nervous. After a little while she reaches her destination, and the place is called Cryptic Peak. There, a group of ladies has gathered together and she doesn't know anyone there. That's why the guide hands out maps to everyone and tells them to head up. All the ladies start climbing up, and that's when she notices a wildflower placed there because it was wrapped in a red cloth. The guide says that this flower is named Barb Valentine, and it was placed there by a cryptologist. A cryptologist means someone who hunts strange kinds of monsters, and it's been heard that this jungle is home to that monster, which is also known as Shoka. Barb had come there to find them, but she wasn't found anywhere, and all the ladies start talking about her. And everyone starts tracking, but I don't know what happens to her, but suddenly she starts heading in the other direction. She goes to the other side of the jungle, and there she finds a red coat hanging, and she immediately ignores it and starts moving forward. Then suddenly she hears a rustling sound from behind, and she pulls out her camera and starts shooting. That's when she sees that there's some strange animal behind the bushes. From the bird's ears, from her ears, a strange white fluid starts coming out and her eyes turn green, and this scene cuts right there. Meanwhile, the guide is looking for Key and he calls the office and says that one girl is missing. On the other side, Key goes to a washroom and starts washing her face and cleaning her hair, and after that she comes back and stands among those same ladies. Neither the guide nor the ladies knew Key's name. That's why they don't notice her. The guide says he'll count their names one more time. But when he calls out Key's name, Key doesn't react at all, as if she's under some other influence. When all the ladies move to one side, Key is left standing there alone. The guide asks, "If you're Key, then why didn't you come forward when I called?" But looking at Key, it seems like she doesn't remember anything. Then the guide immediately ends the trip right there and tells everyone to go back. He calls his head office and says that the girl has been found, and now no one is missing. Key doesn't even remember her car, like where she parked it, and when she takes out the car keys the car makes a sound, but she goes and sits in her car. When she checks her bag she finds her ID inside and her home address is also there. She doesn't understand where she is or what she should do. She arrives at that same address mentioned on her ID, parks the car, and then immediately goes inside the house. She changes her dress and falls asleep right away. The next morning when she wakes up she starts looking around the house properly, and then she starts watching the camera footage she shot on the mountain. That's when her phone rings, and when she picks it up, on the other side is a guy named Don. He says that today he's somehow coming to meet her because he has a lot of work, and there's a patient named Mr. Singh who wants to get a checkup from her. He also asks her how her trip was. But Key doesn't understand anything, like what is he even saying? That's why she cuts Don's call. But when she comes to meet Don, she finds out that she's an animal doctor, and Don comes to her and asks how her trip was. Key asks him why there's so much blood on his body, so Don tells her that a pet had an accident and was in really bad condition, so he had to operate on it. Hearing this, Key doesn't say anything and goes back to her house. Key is sitting there drinking and researching about the sofa. About Shoka. Then she also searches about Barb, and what she sees is very shocking because the Barb she sees looks exactly like her. Seeing this, Key gets scared and turns off her laptop, and suddenly she sees a shadow on her window which scares her a lot. She grabs her stuff and comes to the main door. She hears the sound of her window breaking. Key takes her car and drives away from there, and she's driving alone on a deserted road. After that, the scene cuts and Key has fallen asleep in her car itself. After that, Key arrives in a town and takes a room in a hotel there, and she meets Sally. Sally asks her if she's come to visit the valley, so Key says that she's come to find her friend Barb Valentine. Sally asks, "Is that the one who's the monster hunter?" So Key says, "Yes, you've understood correctly." After that, Key goes into her room and starts watching Barb's old interviews. Barb says that she's definitely seen Shoka face to face, and to find him again, go back near Blue Whale Lake. Now Key notes down that lake thing and notices that just like Barb is touching a locket, Key is doing the same thing. After that, Sally comes and invites Key for drinks, and Sally and Key drink a lot together. Key tells her that she feels like leaving everything and running away from here, so Sally says that whatever reason you have for going far away, it's better to embrace that reason and be happy. Key then comes back to her room and watches Barb's video again, and after that she watches a video of Barb's husband Morgan, and he's telling Barb to come back home. In the next scene we're shown Shoka and someone wearing a red coat is standing there, and this scene cuts right there. The next morning, Key comes to return the room key, but Sally isn't there. So Key leaves the key there, takes a music CD and leaves. Now she's driving to Blue Whale Lake and goes into the jungle to find him. That's when a strange creature appears in front of her, which scares her a lot. But it wasn't a creature, It was a lady who calms her down and says she's come to find Shoka. She tells her name is Stella, and hearing this, Key feels quite relaxed. After that, she takes Key to her house and shows her all the pictures of Shoka. Stella also tells her that Shoka connects people sexually, and its smell is very dirty, and whenever someone sees it, something like semen comes out of the body. Key tells her that when she saw it for the first time, something like that came out of her ears. Then Key sees a photo of a girl there, and Stella tells her that's her daughter because she got lost 10 years ago. She had stopped the car on the side of the jungle, and her daughter went to freshen up but didn't come back and Shoka took her. After that, Key shows Stella the recorded video on her camera, and Stella says that she's seen the same thing. That's when Key sees that person who was walking in the jungle wearing a red coat and chasing Shoka. Key's condition starts getting bad and Stella tells her to rest. A little while later, when Key regains consciousness, she sees that her feet are covered in mud again, and she calls out to Stella. But no one is there. She starts looking for her camera, and it's not there either, and she finds a flashlight, so she takes her stuff and slowly starts heading toward the jungle. That's when someone puts a hand on her shoulder, and seeing this, Key gets scared, and it's a girl whose name is Diana. And actually, she's Stella's daughter who disappeared from there 10 years ago. Key doesn't understand anything and she thinks maybe she got lost. Diana says that the main road is right behind her and saying that, she runs away from there. A little while later, when Key is eating street food, her eyes fall on a notice board where Diana's photo is also posted. And then the waiter says that when someone gets lost here, their photo is put up right here. That's when she points to Diana's photo and asks if she's been found, and the waiter says he doesn't know. Key is getting trapped in a web herself and takes a hotel address from the waiter. She reaches there, takes a room in that hotel and is watching Morgan's interview. Morgan says that Barb was very beautiful, but he doesn't know where she went. Key starts embracing herself in the mirror and then goes to a bar. And there she meets a bartender named Kelv, who starts flirting with her. That's when a lady comes to Key and starts talking to her, and she even shows her some magic tricks. Key tells her that she's looking for a creature. But she introduces herself as S.A. Barb Bill, and after that, they both dance. Key wants to leave from there, but that lady makes her wear a costume and tells her that there's a lady named Janet in Green Park, and she should meet her because she's also seen Shoka. When Key goes to the washroom, she hears some sounds there, and she sees that Kelv is in an intimate situation with a girl. Kelv notices this too, but I don't know what happens to him, and his eyes suddenly turn green, which makes him very angry, and he starts choking that girl, causing her to die right there. The next morning, she goes to meet Janet, and her son opens the door and introduces himself as Shasha. Shasha invites her inside and goes to call his mom, and that's when Key notices a book there which is actually written by Barb, and in that book she also finds Barb's address. Then Janet comes there and asks Key if she's been here before, so she tells everything that no, she's come here for the first time, and she introduces herself as Barb. Key sees that the same Kelv is Janet's boyfriend, and Janet says that people don't trust her. Then all the people in the town think she's crazy. And Shoka has sexually attracted everything. So the people here often get intimate. Key trusts her, and Janet invites her to a party. When Key arrives at that party, all the people in the town start making fun of Shoka and Janet, and Gelb is with her too. Donut feels really bad and leaves from there in anger. She sees that the people in the town are also very strange. Key leaves from there and starts drinking, and she notices that Janet doesn't treat Shasha well at all. And in anger, she even slaps Shasha and tells him that this is the reason Dad left her. And saying that, he immediately runs into the jungle. Key goes after Shasha too, and then they both start talking together, and Shasha says that he remembers she came here before, so Key says that's not the case at all. Shasha says that we both have special energy. And Shasha's eyes start turning green too. A little while later, after drinking, Key is looking for her car, and that's when Kelv comes to her. He wants to take advantage of her being drunk and takes her into the jungle. But we see that Shoka is swallowing Kelv, and Shoka was very slippery. That's when Key regains consciousness and sees Kelv screaming, and Key quickly runs away from there, and that's when a girl appears in front of her car who looks just like her. But when she gets out to check, no one is there. And seeing this, she gets very scared. So she goes back into the car, and now the car won't start. At that time, Key has Barb's card with her, so Key walks to Barb's house and knocks on the door in front of Barb's door. Then Morgan comes out, so he mistakes Key for Barb and immediately hugs her. And he takes her inside and even gives her a shower because her body was smelling a lot. Morgan asks her where she was, and Key isn't giving him any answer. After that, Morgan gets her ready nicely and they both go for dinner. And suddenly she says that she remembers our honeymoon trip was really good. As if Morgan immediately gets tense, and she says that when you get intimate with me, you turn into a monster. Morgan says that's not the case at all. You're always with the jungle creature which made you angry, and hearing this you left from there. And this is still very confusing. How did Key know about Morgan's honeymoon thing again and again? Then we'll find out the answer later. After that, Key goes to sleep and Morgan wants to get intimate with her. Understanding this, Key starts pretending to sleep, and that's when Morgan starts waking her up and getting intimate with her. And the monster inside Key also starts waking up. Then she punches Morgan and immediately leaves from there. There was a room with Barb's files inside, and there was also stuff written about many missing girls. That's when Morgan comes there and starts saying sorry, but she leaves from there and sits in the car to go away. Morgan starts stopping her and hits the car window hard, which makes her car stop ahead, but Key's eyes turn green, and she starts the car and crushes Morgan between the car and the wall. He was lying down dead, and Key starts getting intimate with his dead body, and before our eyes she turns into a monster. Then she wears a red coat from there and takes the car to Key's house. But in front of Key's house the car was already parked, and seeing this she gets surprised and thinks that she left her car on the road. So where did this car come from? We see that she goes near the window and she hears the sound of someone running from inside. But Key breaks the window and comes inside. But someone was already there, and she sees the door open and someone taking the car away. Then wearing the same red coat, she ties the wildflower in a red cloth and places it in the jungle. And after that she starts roaming around just like we were shown before, and there she becomes like Key, and the movie ends right there. So friends, that was the story of this film, and the ending of this movie was quite confusing. It could be that Barb got fed up with her husband Morgan's torture and ran away from there toward the jungle. And in her house we saw Key's missing file too, and Barb knew that she looks exactly like Key, and when she first met Shoka she herself became Shoka and she made Key disappear. And it could also be like in one scene it was shown that Barb had an accident with a girl, and that was none other than Key. It could be that to escape from Morgan, Key was running away from that place. But when she went to the mountain she forgot everything and went back to Morgan's house, and when she went to her own house, everything came back to her. We can also say that actually she's trapped in a loop. Many times the same things are happening to her that happened before. So that was today's video. How did you like this video? Be sure to tell in the comment section. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe it and turn on the bell icon for notifications, and don't forget to like and share the other video at all.